Red Beard
Alrighty.
the Hippy here with Sonny B, who is a your solo act, right?
Yeah, as of right now.
One man wrecking crew in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska.
Oh yeah. Right on the border of Nebraska. We're still in Kansas though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know you had a show in Mankato, and I'm like, I know where that's at. Been
Yeah.
there a few times.
That's where I actually graduated from high school. That was in Mankato.
Oh shit. Well, if this
So
makes you feel any better, I used to live in Scandia,
oh
so that's how I
my
know.
condolences.
I was like 5 when my parents moved, so it wasn't like I lived there very long, but I still go back and people are like, I remember when you were this big, you haven't changed a bit. Um, I don't remember all the tattoos or the big beard when I was 5, but okay.
Oh, that's funny.
But
Yeah.
I watched some of your little reels and some of the videos. You're kind of hard rock heavy metal guy.
Yeah, so that's kind of just like my favorite thing to play. I mean, I play a lot more than that, and I like to play more than that, but just for my shows, I feel like it's easier to put on a show while playing stuff like that because it's super flashy and people really like, well, there's a lot of controversy now because people are saying rock is dead. I have a lot of people saying that. And then there's a lot of people that are like, people are trying to bring rock back. And I'm like, it's never left. I mean, if you look, rock's been there the whole time.
It just
I'm
kind of
just,
it cycles where it's like this is the popular thing at the moment, and then there's other genres that are underneath it where they're not as popular, but they never left.
yeah. Yeah, no, there's definitely still music being made in like most genres. Like there's always gonna be alt rock, there's always gonna be rap being made, there's always gonna be, it just depends on what songs are hitting the charts the hardest.
Or what people are feeling at that moment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, there's been times where like I would rather put on like acoustic rock versus listening to like some hardcore death metal band because it's just not what I'm feeling at that moment. Like I want something softer, or I
Oh
want
yeah, I know the
I want
feeling.
the Alice in Chains album. I'm gonna rock out to that for a while. So, or like my kids have gotten me into this like industrial hip hop stuff. I mean, it's weird stuff, but I'm like I kind of gravitating towards it because I watch like a lot of the videos on YouTube with like Minecraft videos and Five Nights at Freddy's. So it's got its own little like industrial rap style thing. I don't know how to describe it. It's just weird stuff, and I'm like, okay, I like it.
Yeah, hey, and there ain't nothing wrong with liking different stuff because I mean, every music's music, you know.
Oh yeah. Plus, if you only listen to one thing or you only go to one type of show, you pigeonhole yourself into it, and you don't grow as like an artist, for instance. Because
Yeah.
I've learned that throughout years where like I was in a metal band and I was like I'm not doing clean vocals, and then because like I didn't feel it was the style for it, and now kind of looking at it like maybe there's just a couple spots I could have done some clean vocals. Cause I guess that's the difference between like 20-year old or yeah like 20-some-year-old me versus almost 40-year-old me, kind of going maybe I should have done something different.
Yeah. And with that, I like to, whenever I'm like dead set on something and how I think it should sound, I like to wait like just a few days and then I go back and listen to it because I get back to it with fresh ears and then I can actually hear if it sounds good or if it's like, oh, maybe I should change that up.
Or tweak this a little bit or do this a little bit different. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah,
that
just kind of like a fresh ears type thing because that's what my English teacher actually taught me was because what I was writing a huge like paper or whatever for some sort of like, I don't even remember. I like slept through most of high school. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't really remember what this paper was about. I just remember it was super long and I just kept typing and typing and she's like, it's good to step away and come back so that because I was like struggling with writing what was to come next for the story or whatever. And she's like, it's good to just wait. So be done for today. Go read a book, do something else, get your mind off of this. And when you come back tomorrow, you'll have fresh eyes and you'll be able to read through it and you'll be able to keep writing better. So that's kind of the approach I take towards my music as well. Uh, Whenever I just get stumped or stuck, it's just like take a break, go get a bite to eat, go do something, and then I'll come back to it and I'll work with it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. And like that shows a level of where you're just not like, okay, this is good enough. I guess I'll accept this. It's like, nah, I gotta listen to it again and see where what needs to be done different or what I'd like to do different on it, or is this the final product? Because then you got
Oh
people who
yeah,
will like sit there and pick it apart. Like, you could have done this. Yeah, yeah, I know.
yeah, and just like listening back on some of my music, because like whenever I first released the Deities album, it was kind of in a rush and everything was just kind of slapped together. I had no prior recording experience. Me and my dad had no experience recording music at all, besides like the couple of songs that I thought were like cool sounding things that I played on guitar that I released on Spotify and Apple Music. Before that, like nothing. So we slapped this album together of 4 songs: Villain, Hell, Mars, and Raw. And so much was wrong with it. We didn't record it with a metronome. When we recorded the drums, we used an Akai MPK Mini, and we just we just like heard where we thought the drums would go. We no experience writing drums at all, and it just sounded so bad. And I went and played live with the backtrackings for it, and it was so bad. I couldn't even hear my own guitar while I was on stage. It was so bad. And we came back and we learned quite a bit, and we've been working more with it. So it's like coming back and working towards it. So right now we're in the mastering stage, and I'm working on writing a couple more songs right now. But it just now that we have so much more experience and we take the time to actually work through what we're actually working on, it just sounds so much cleaner and so much better.
Well, that's where experience and like you have to learn those things because I mean it's part of being a musician. Like you learn how many drinks you can have on stage or how many other indulgences you can do prior to getting on stage where it's like, okay, this is where my limit is, or going into the studio, how much time do we have for each one of those? How much like you have to nail this or you have to get this done right, or it's just the part of the beast.
Yeah.
And everybody learns from different things. It's not like every band has the most phenomenal stage show every night that nothing ever goes wrong.
Oh yeah, I've definitely had stuff go wrong on stage. Like one time, and this goes hand in hand with your indulgences that you were talking about. Unaware, couldn't hear. I wasn't playing with any backtracks, and I just had my headphones in, and they were noise canceling, and I couldn't hear any of the music that I was singing or playing on my guitar. And at one point in the song, because I was playing Seek and Destroy Metallica, and at one point in the song, I loop so that I can play the solo over the rhythm, and I didn't hit save on my loop, so it was just me playing an empty solo and completely messing it up on stage the whole time and not being able to hear that I was messing it up so bad. It was the worst performance I've ever had. And then the following night, I proceeded to have one of my best performances I ever had. So it balanced out.
Yeah, and I mean everybody knows with it being live music, like there's going to be a certain level of fuckery that goes on with it where I've seen bands pull amazing shows in small venues, and I've seen amazing bands pull shitty shows in big venues or things outside of control, out of their control happens. Like, went to a Lamb of God show, and they're in the middle of Walk With Me in Hell, where they do that acapella type where walk with me, or no, it's Now You Have Something to Die For, where the music cuts out. Well,
Oh yeah.
somebody hit a telephone pole and knocked out the power to the venue. So at that moment in time, the whole crowd's screaming it, and then we're all waiting like they're like, turn on the overhead lights, get our amps back up, we're finishing the set. It's like
Oh,
practice
that
style. It was one of
sucks.
the craziest shows ever. And then like Killswitch came out after that. Like they had all the lights, and it wasn't near as cool as what Lamb of God just did with no light show and everything. So
That's crazy. Yeah, the only other concert besides my concerts that I've been to is I went and I saw when I Prevail was on tour and they had Pierce the Veil. They went to Missouri,
oh yeah,
Kansas City, and me and my sister went and saw him. She took because she's like, you're 19 now. I'm taking you to your first concert," and I'm like, "Okay, sweet." So we go to that show, and it started out with Stand Atlantic, which the lead singer from Stand Atlantic, I don't remember what her name was. If I knew it on the spot, I'd tell you. But amazing, like she just commanded the stage, and I wanted to get in the pit so bad, but I didn't. And then Fit for a King came out next, and I was in the pit for that one, and I got smashed in the pit. And that one was a really good show. It just wasn't as like dominating as Stand Atlantic. And then Pierce the Veil came out, and it was just killer with Pierce the Veil. I mean, they were throwing drumsticks out into the audience, and
oh yeah.
one of the guys got hit on the head with one, and I got body slammed by one of the stage security guards because I got thrown up on top of the crowd for a crowd surf, and then the guy saw me for about the fifth time up there, and he grabbed me off the top. He just body slammed me off the top of the crowd and picked me up and threw me back out there. It was such a fun experience.
Yeah, and that's also like we're talking about concerts and watching what other people do on their stage show. You're like, ooh, I can do that, or hey, I could try that, or little things like that where it's
Or just even admiring like the sound setups. Like whenever I went and saw them, I looked and they had like 12 speakers on this side, 12 speakers on this side, and then this whole wall of speakers over here. And I was like, holy crap. And then the room just vibrates.
oh yeah, it's big shows like that. I've been to a few, but they're usually always farther away than I want to travel, or it's like on a Wednesday when it's like,
Oh,
oh, I still got to work on Thursday and I can't take time off.
yeah, that sucks.
But at the same point in time, I have to be a little more picky and choosier because it's like, okay, do I take time off and lose pay for it, lose my overtime hours, or do I just kind of go, all right, I'll catch them next round. Every now
Yeah.
and then, I kind of see certain bands come through where it's like you're just like, okay, I got to catch this band. I know they don't have much of a run left in them, or they're not going to be around forever. Kind of like,
Yeah.
well, fortunately, a lot of bands anymore. Because like you'll go to say that you're going to see them next time, and then you find out they broke up, and you're like, oh, oops.
Oh, Mick Mars is suing Motley Crue because Nikki Six is using backtrackings on stage. Like,
Which
what?
everybody knew. I mean, you think you could at least record better backing tracks for the vocals,
Oh, yeah.
or at least use some of the stuff from the '80s where it's like, man, he's done a number on his vocal cords, but then you listen to like Axl Rose, like I've seen some of his live stuff lately, and that dude could still,
Oh, he's still belting out notes like it's nothing, bro. I'm
oh
jealous.
yeah, and he's been doing it since like almost 40 years or so,
Yeah.
at least a solid 30, and it's like I'm I'm blown away with his level of pipe work,
Oh yeah. He's one of a kind.
in more ways than one.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be an hour and a half late, and then I'm gonna play 15 minutes and wonder why people are pissed off. I
Yeah.
read a couple articles about that lately. Yeah, and I know the Wichita scene. You've been down there quite a bit lately.
Oh yeah. Yeah, after Kirby's, because that was the first spot I played there, and that was just like a hit. And then like the shows, everybody was just like, "Hey, we kind of want you to play for us," and it all happened. So I went on tour with Young Crooked like a month after I graduated out of high school, and I went. First stop was Des Moines, Iowa, and this all happened over like 3 days. We took a week break and then went back and played the last show. So we went to Des Moines, Iowa, Topeka, and then Wichita. And Wichita was when we played at Kirby's, and then we went to McPherson. And after that, we got another show with Crooked because he was wanting to sign me on his record label, and I was like, no. Anyway, uh, so he got me another show at Barleycorns in Wichita for a fundraiser for TIFF, and it was for Baby J or Jason Shin. Um, they called him Baby J. I don't really remember what happened. I feel bad for not remembering. I'm not gonna lie. I should have.
I remember seeing stuff about that show. I think that was about the most that I knew about that one because I knew there was
Yeah,
it was a pretty impressive lineup on it.
yeah. So the first, I have the two posters right here for, or the three posters right here for the three shows, because we did two shows for them, but there we have three posters because two of them were from the 7th of January, which was the first show. No, it wasn't. The other one was the first show. I have my T-shirt for it somewhere too. Anyway, we have for one of the lineups. It was supposed to be at the Big Arbor. The location kept getting changed. We ended up at Barleycorns, and we played Barleycorns. I was trying to see which one. This one is for August 26th. So that one had Catfish, Dev, me, BZB, Karma, Young Crooked, J Rob the Law, Angel Dust OG, Heavy J, Caspire, Danger Bros, SMG, the Stranded Music Group, and Stranded Music Group, blah, Collective Unconscious, and Grizzle. Um, and what happened with that one is they found out, since Wichita Bar District and two of the people that were performing were underage, we had to change up times on the set like last second while we were there so that the younger kids could get in there,
Yeah,
play, and then get out because they don't want the cops getting called on them for having 19-year-olds in their bar.
I think there's also like after a certain time, they're not allowed to have minors in there.
It's I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock
Yeah,
was the time we had to be out of there.
10 o'clock.
Somewhere around in there.
10
So
o'clock
we were
definitely
trying to
sounds
get
like the time.
so we were trying to hurry up and get everyone on stage and out of there. And in process for that, Young Crooked lost like 5-10 minutes on his set, and he was just pissed because he's like, I paid for everything, blah 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 blah. You owe me my 5 minutes extra, blah 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 blah. He was just pissed and going off. And so he just said, all right, fuck it, and just walked out. And the guy that was the other 19-year-old was the one that was, his name was Heavy J. He was on contract with him, and he said, you got to come with me. And he couldn't say no and stay and play that show. And which is why I'm glad I did not sign his record label, because then I wouldn't have played that show and then been where I'm at now. Because from that show, it got me a whole bunch of other shows because Tiff was like, man, I'm really grateful you stayed. And then that's kind of when my name started getting floated around Wichita, was after that point, because my dad was like, hey, this place is where we play a lot of our shows at, and a lot of them are getting bigger. So why don't we just keep hanging around this area? And so we've just been booking show after show after show. So we got two coming up this week this month for Wichita, and then at the end of the month I'm going to Denver.
Yeah, because you're on the Rage is My Rival show.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are cool as hell.
Yeah, I really like their music.
I've I've seen them. Well, I did a reaction video for them before meeting them. Then I met them and did an interview with them at the show. And I know I'm trying to see them again. It's just scheduling and traveling conflicts, and it's always fun. And life likes to do its own thing. So
Oh yeah, definitely. I know how that is.
yeah, but those guys are a bunch of cool dudes. And so you've done shows with Diabolical, which those guys are really awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have you done one with what is it? Black Cat Stray, Black Cat J. It's Black Cat Stray. Well, I think
This
they're
sounds familiar. Black Cat Stray sounds familiar, I
yeah.
think.
I know. I think it was one of those guys went and started like a one man band thing where he's got like the drums and all the other stuff. And I know there's a couple guys up in I think it's like El Jefe up in Kearney does stuff like that. But yeah, there's. I know you're trying to get up into the Nebraska scene, is what I'm hearing. I know
Yeah,
Kearney.
I'm
Kearney would be
working
a good
this.
place, like hitting up. Oh, let's see. El Jefe would be a good one. I know there's like the retrograde. The other side.
I've played at the other side like 3 times, I think. There's a funny story for one of them, but I'm not sure if my mom would want me telling that story.
What
My
happens at the
dad
show
just I
stays at the show.
I just heard my dad in the background, don't.
Oh, I have plenty of stories that like my kids have never heard and family members have never heard, and then I'll get friends around and they're like, "Hey, you remember that one time we were shut the fuck up, man?" It's like you're in your
Oh
30s, aren't you
yeah.
worried? It's like there are some things my family does not need to know that I have done, or some of the antics that I had when I was on stage. They do not need to know. They already know I'm nuts. They don't need to know any more than that.
I hear that.
But yeah, there's
Oh, I'm
and then
scared to death.
like Lincoln's got a really good scene because I go up there quite a bit, and like Gray's Keg's a good place. I've seen Love Like War there a couple times, and they do a benefit for KZUM up there regularly. That's John Cruz is like between him and James Fecht, those two are like two of the biggest names that I know up here just on supporting the local scene. Like he's got Fecht Fest. The second one is coming up in how is that September? I don't know. September's looking pretty full at the moment that I know of.
Yeah, I got a lot of since that I Prevail Pierce the Veil concert I went and saw with my sister. I've been like getting concert tickets left and right, like popping up of like my favorite bands, and they're like coming close, and I'm like, fuck yeah. So I've been like book it. So I September I'm going seeing Suicide Boys with my cousin.
Oh,
Uh, she
nice.
she bought me tickets to go see them. I think we're going. I think that one we're going to Omaha, their Omaha show,
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
and then Polyphia. I'm gonna go see them at the Uptown Theater in Kansas City. And then my girlfriend wanted to go see her favorite band right now is the Happy Fits. And I'm not gonna lie, it's like major Scott Pilgrim vibes, and I love it. And so I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go to that concert with you because the tickets were only $25 a pop. So I'm like, hell yeah. And the Polyphia tickets were only $35 a pop. So I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean there's certain bands that you can catch that the tickets like I went and saw I Hate God and Goat Whore with Siphon and Whitmore for I think it was like $25 as well.
That's not bad at all.
Especially with how long Goat Whore and I Hate God's been around.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, And yeah, like Insight, I saw those guys for like I think that was like $20, and then I saw Flub, uh, Gurod, which came over from France to do a American tour, Cognitive, Summon the Lynch, like, and that was only like $25 as well. So, I mean,
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
small little venue, you get to meet the bands, hang out with them. Oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
will take that over like big stadium where it's like, okay, I gotta wait 30 minutes to go get a T-shirt for $50.
So, whenever we went and saw I know I keep going back to the same concert, but it's my only concert experience. I met a guy in the pit on my way to the pit, and he's like, "Oh, it's your birthday? Fuck yeah, I'll guide you through your first concert experience and whatever. I'll take you to the pit and everything." And so he takes me to the pit, and this dude, huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, like he came to the game. Or he came to the show watching the game on his phone with his buddies behind him like this, and he was wearing his jersey and he had a kingdom flag and he's like here, and he hands his phones to his buddies, and then he drags me up to the pit, and Fit for a King was on stage, and he's like stand back because and just like try to stay standing, and I'm like what, and he goes out and stands, and the pit just opens wide open right before the breakdown, and he goes out there and stands in the middle with his Kansas City Chiefs flag, and he stands there like this, and then you just hear the breakdown, and then everybody just goes smashing in the pit, and we're just all
Wall of death.
smashing bodies.
That sounds like a
And you
wall of
if you go
death.
to if you go to Fit for a King's TikTok, you can scroll down a little bit and you can see when you're at the metal show but football is life, and it's my friend standing in the middle of the pit getting his flag up like this, and then everybody just smashing him in the middle.
That's awesome.
It was a fun experience.
Oh, it sounds like it. That.
And I want people to have experiences like that at my shows. I just want big pits. I want massive crowds.
Oh
It's
yeah,
the dream.
yeah. I know like doing the band stuff. It's always fun. Like I would always try to put on the same energy if we're playing for 10 people. If we're playing for 200 people,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
it's always it's an experience that people who haven't been in a band or haven't been on stage do not understand the the level of high that you get from it. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
it's like nothing else that you can
it's
do.
better than runner's high. It's better than like any drug anybody could ever do. Like
Anything's
I
better
swear,
than runner high. I've had that a couple times. That is not what I
I
classify as fun.
I used to run long distance in track, so I used to get runner's high at every meet.
So like I'm gonna say the 3200 and the 16.
They had me at 8x8, 1600, and I ran 3200 like twice. So yeah.
I I know my track and field stuff too.
Yeah, that's yeah, that was not my favorite. I hated running long distance. I don't know why they wouldn't let me run short distance.
What's really fun is when you're in the 800, the 4x8, the mile, and the 2 mile all in the same meet, and they're like, okay, you got to do a cool down.
Oh,
Why? I've got 20 minutes before my next event.
I see.
I did it one time
So
and was like, never ever again.
my friend wanted to try the 2 mile because I ran it like twice. That it was the two times I ran it, and then I didn't run it the next meet because I'm like, yeah, sure, you can take my place in the 2 mile if it looks so easy. Homeboy ran 2 laps and he just started walking. He's like, I give up, and I was like, you got this. Keep going.
Yeah, the runner's high is a whole different where it's like, okay, I can't feel my legs, my side hurts, I'm
And
huffing
then
air.
all of a sudden, it just it's like you're floating over the track,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's just like it's not a bad experience, but it's not
it's a
my favorite
it's a
experience.
unique experience.
Oh, for sure.
It's not one that I have experienced since I quit running, and now the only times I run are if the police are behind me. So, which is not very often anymore. I learned my lesson long ago that it's easier to stay out of trouble than being in trouble.
I agree. I hate being in trouble in any form.
I have kids. I'm usually in trouble for something that they did.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what your kid did?
probably.
What did my kid do? Are you in trouble?
Probably
Probably. Do you care?
probably something.
Not anymore. I quit caring about 8 years ago when I realized that it's my fault. So, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Oh, let's see. What else we got? One, I found out you're the mammoth guy. You found the
Yeah.
mammoth bone, which I
Yeah.
had to go look that up to see what all that was about. I'm like, mammoth bone.
Yeah, we got a newspaper of it somewhere in the other room. They did a whole article on me from Mammoth Bones to musician, and it's like almost the whole front page, and it's got the two pictures of me, one with the mammoth bone and then one with me and my guitar.
Little bit of a change from archaeology to heavy metal.
Well, yeah, well, actually, whenever I found the mammoth bone, it was complete fluke. So me and my dad, we live on a farm, and we do yee yee shit all the time,
Oh
like
yeah.
hunting and fishing and all of the works. So we were out looking for deer antlers or shed hunting, as we call it, and I came across. We were just walking one of our friends' properties, and I'm like, Dad, come look at this rock, and he's like, That's not a rock. That looks like a bone. And I was like, That's what I thought. And then we called a few people, and we're like, Hey, we think we got a dinosaur bone here. And then they're like, Oh, we're gonna get you into contacts with some people. And long story short, an archaeologist from KU came out, and we had a whole day long expedition of digging out this mammoth bone, like just carefully like peeling the dirt away on the side of the hill. And it was a really cool experience.
Oh, it sounds like
Uh
it. Like I'm over here just like fascinated. Like,
yeah, like it was really fun, and it was just a stone's throw from my house. Like it's just kind of crazy. And then so we finally got it out, and it was, I think it was the leg bone is what they said it was. The lower leg bone. I can't remember. One of them.
they got four of them. I mean, left leg, right leg, front, back,
So
something.
what they said happened was is the landscape changed completely, and at one point in time there was a flowing river there that was flowing at what is now uphill, and it was flowing through, and what happened was is the mammoth died. It fell over, and its leg got caught in an embankment, and the water kept pushing over it and pushing over it and pushing over it, and that leg bone stayed there, and the rest of it floated down the stream or the river, and it probably flowed that way quite a ways. I don't know. We haven't gone out and looked for any of the rest of the mammoth, but they took that mammoth bone and got it cleaned up, and they got it stored in the museum in Mankato, I believe. Don't take my word for it. I'm just guessing. They might have taken it somewhere else and auctioned it off. But uh, and then they started this huge festival, and then I started doing music, and then they booked my band because at the time, me and a few buddies from high school had a little band because my friend played bass, and we had a percussionist that we picked up from band class that we were like, hey, if I sit you behind a set of drums, do you think you could play them? And he's like, yeah, probably. So we just kind of slapped together a band, and we played like three. So me and the drummer played like 5 shows together, a good 5 shows. And then with the bassist, we only played one. And our bassist, I mean, Davin, he's an amazing friend. He's still one of my greatest friends to this day. The only problem is he didn't want to play like any wide variety of music. He just wanted to play Red Hot Chili Peppers because bass heavy.
Oh yeah.
And he had a couple other bands like Fish and stuff, but it was just like he wasn't keen to like playing other genres. He wanted to play what he wanted to play, and playing at different venues, you can't just do that. So
Oh yeah.
that was the only downside. That, and he just had a bunch of other stuff going on. I mean, he's like kid prodigy, scored perfect on an ACT. Uh, FBLA prodigy, does this whole business stuff at school, and it's like, bro, I was asleep. I'm sorry.
You're gonna make $50, or you can go make what you're making here. I would stick with what you're doing, man. Trust me.
Yeah, he's doing really good, and I'm really proud of him for excelling the way he has. But if he really wanted to, he was a damn good bassist. He picked up a bass and within a month had slap down, had good rhythm, and could hear a song and pick out the notes that the bassist was playing and play it back to you within like 20 minutes of trying.
Oh,
All within a
he's one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing, but it took me like 6 years to be able to do that with a guitar. And he just has a knack for, I mean, like we were both saxophonists in band class. So like we sat next to each other and we were friends anyways. And we were just like we both had a knack for the saxophone and we could just like hear notes, and that transferred into him playing bass because he switched to bari sax. So he was used to the lower notes, and so he was able to pick out what he was hearing. He just had to listen to it really close.
Yeah,
And he was just like, I was just like, if you wanted a career in music, bro, me and you, we could pick up any random drummer, bro, and as long as he could keep rhythm, we could fucking make it. But I'll never find a bassist like him again. He was one of a kind, and I'll never
there are
forget him.
there are certain musicians that are just kind of like that, where like they'll pick something up and they're like, "Oh yeah, I figured out this song," and you're going, I have the sheet music, I can't even figure it out. Where's your sheet music? Oh, I don't have any. I just kind of picked it up and.
That's how I am, but it took me like I said, it took me like 6 or 7 years to get to that point where it was like, oh, I don't need sheet music now. I can hear what's being played.
Yeah.
Because you play the notes so much it just becomes like another language to you almost. Is kind of how I think of it. And so whenever I hear like for example, the other day I was listening to Dire Straits and I had never played like actual song before, so it was like yeah, right there. Like just messing around with it until I can figure out what each part is.
I was that was kind of what I could do with vocals, where like I could just tell where stuff needed to be and how much time frame I had to put stuff in, and
Oh yeah.
downfall of being a guy that listened to a lot of speed rap like Bone Thugs and Harmony and Tech Nine, Buster Rhymes, E40, where it's like, okay, how can I cram all these metal vocals into this little area?
Oh yeah. I have that same problem because like I listen to rap for inspiration on how to like so I switch between like different types of artists like Pearl Jam. I love listening to Eddie Vedder because of how he stretches his words out along the rhythm.
Oh yeah,
And I like listening to rap because it like gives you different words to use because whether you like it or not, a lot of rap has a wide vocabulary. So I like to be able to grab from that and use
depending
different
on
words.
depending on the rapper, depends on the
Yeah, that's true.
vocabulary.
Okay, that's
Because
true. I can't say the same for Lil Pump. I
um,
can't.
I mean, there's just unfortunate like, and you can't use this guy in any conversation when it comes to vocabulary. Like, there's two artists that have they've amassed such a vocabulary in songs. Corey Taylor from Slipknot and
Oh
Eminem.
yeah.
Like,
I was getting ready to say the exact
those
two
two
same
are the
people.
where it's like they don't count in that category of like, because Eminem will rhyme words that you're going, how the fuck did and
4 inch
rewind.
door hinge, syringe, orange, and I'm like, bro, what? How did you just rhyme 4 words with orange? Shut the fuck up.
Exactly, and you'll be, and like I had to go back and like figure it out and figure out his words. Like you want somebody with word scheme, like that guy has it.
Oh my God, yeah. And I was like even listening to Psychosocial, like when he goes into the, it's still the chorus, I think, first verse, where he's like, pseudo sacrosanct perversion. I was like, holy fuck, that's a
Dude.
tongue twister and a half.
And then you're over here like, what the hell does all of this? Oh,
Oh my God, that's what that is.
hmm. Yeah, there's been more times on a Slipknot record that I've went and had to go get a dictionary because like when Iowa came out, we didn't have all the cell phone technology, so we had to actually go get the dictionary, and it's like fucking Corey Taylor.
Fuck does this word mean? Damn it. So
Oh, it
actually,
means that. All right.
a thing I heard about Eminem was what he did was while he was on break at work, he would have a diction. He would take one of the dictionaries. He stole a dictionary, and what he would do is he would sit there and read it, and he would pronounce it different ways, and then he would move on to like the next word. And he did that throughout the whole dictionary, and he would figure out what each word meant and like different pronunciations he could use for that word so he could use them in his songs.
Yeah,
And
it's
that dedication blew my mind because it's like I can sit and play the guitar for as long as I want, but I don't think I could sit and study the different ways I could attack notes on a guitar.
language theories,
I
and it's
don't
and
think
it's
I
and it's
could.
funny because I think the two people we said with the biggest vocabularies are both high school dropouts. Like they didn't
I
graduate.
know. I know. I almost didn't graduate. That's so fucked up. I almost fell into that category.
I kind of got told like, here's your diploma. We're tired of you. You
That's
got
kind of the
there's
same thing I
we've got a
had.
little brother coming in next year. We're gonna get rid of you. We can only deal with one of you guys at a time. So
No, the school was just ready to get me out. I'm pretty sure they didn't really like me there. I graduated in my first semester of senior year. I had missed over 120 class periods I had missed over the first semester, and I still graduated. Like they just wanted me gone
all
at
right,
that point.
no kid left behind. Get the fuck out.
We did
I
have a
was a
couple
teacher's
of.
kid, so I had a whole different slew of issues where like they knew there's a couple times they tried chasing me down and I'd disappear and they're like, "Where did you go?" I'm not telling you because you guys couldn't find me. Because I used to go there when there was no school when I was a kid, so I found all like the hiding spots and the different ways to get around. And
Oh, that's great.
but then I knew the rule book, so I'd find ways to bend the rules without breaking them or fracturing them. And like this is the time when 311 T-shirts were outlawed at the school. You couldn't wear them because they were like it's gang related. Well, I had the CD and I liked them, so I was like, "Hey, Dad, you want to listen to this so you can see what they're about?" And I played like their self-titled album and the Transistor album after that. And he's like, "You can wear your shirt. I don't care. They're all right." I was like, "Cool." So after that, I wore it for like a week straight.
So, um, gang related stuff. So you know the thing where people are like, "Ha, made you look with this thing."
Oh yeah,
So there was a lot of controversy with that, and a lot of the teachers at my school were forced to believe that this meant white power, when clearly this is not a W or a P.
it'd be like MP maybe, MO.
Yeah, like um, like
It's a monk
true
thing.
Zen, true
True.
Zen. And so we were at what we call Scholars Bowl meets. Some people call them Quiz Bowl meets. We go and do like the meetup, and we have the meet or whatever. And we were doing this to each other, and I got pulled out into the hallway, and he's like, "I'm gonna need you to quit throwing up gang signs." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I see you in the room and I see you throwing up gang signs to people and I don't appreciate it. I'm going to need you to stop." And I'm like, "What gang sign am I throwing up? I'm like, at this point, I'm utterly baffled because I had no clue what he was talking about, and I had no clue that this to them meant white power. Because I'd been doing this for years before, and it was like,
I
ha,
mean,
gotcha, boom.
if it's
So
Mankato, like the most I could see about them being gang related would be like John Deere versus Case International.
yeah. so so he I was just baffled and I'm like, what do you mean stop throwing up gang signs? And he goes, I see you and they're doing this. And I'm like, Mr. Cox, that's not a gang sign. What do you mean that's a gang sign? He's like, we've been told by the school board and several people that that's a gang sign and not to let our students throw it up. And I was like, okay. So I walked back in the room, looked at my friend, and he goes, what's the problem? And I said, start talking in sign language to me because he knew sign language. And I was like, whatever. And he starts, he's like doing like the whatever. And he was like, wrote hello. And I watched him come over and drag my friend over. And he took him out into the hallway and he came back in after he got done talking to him and he goes, he thinks we're a part of a gang now. And I was like, you're so now he thinks that like three of his students are in a gang because he taught us how to do sign language. I don't remember most of them. I just remember the one that I would do the most was like ILOVE. And that was all I would do. And he would be like, gang. And I was like, no.
Somebody's a little out of dated. We're in
Yeah,
the
because
we're in the deaf
he
gang.
oh, it was so funny.
Yeah, some people baffle me on their take on certain things.
Yeah, and it is just funny, man.
I can't say too much. I got a bunch of weird looks. It was a little while back. I was in Concordia, and there's a church there, and I was like, I'm gonna go take some pictures of that. Not even realizing it's Sunday, they have mass going on. So I've got my camera out. I've got my self-made patch shorts that have all kinds of different things on them, and on my backpack I've got a Ghostbusters logo and two symbols from Supernatural.
Oh,
So I'm walking around taking pictures. Suddenly, mask gets out, and I'm like standing there taking pictures, and I look back, and I'm just like, fuck.
didn't think about that one.
Like, oh
Got
well,
the
I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Nobody came near me. Nobody said anything. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm pretty sure I'll be in the next sermon.
yeah.
But then I realized it was a Catholic church, so there was no way I was gonna go inside of it.
Yeah, my girlfriend's Catholic and she's taken me to church a couple times.
I've fallen asleep the last couple times I went to Catholic masses.
It wasn't bad. The experiences I've had at her church, it was just I didn't know that like people actually like. So I had been warned that, oh, you're gonna be on your knees a lot. And I thought they were joking with me because I thought they were making like, the famous like Catholic pastor and I was just
The
thinking he was
reverend.
talking about that. I was just thinking he was joking about that. And so
Nah,
I was like,
you
oh,
gotta
ha
do your
ha, funny.
stretches.
And then we walk in there and my girlfriend kneels at the pew before she walks in. And I'm like, okay. And then she pulls the pew board down, the board the kneeling board, and she gets down and she starts praying. And I'm like, do I do that? And she goes, come on. And I'm like, and I got down and I was like, I didn't realize like the actual level of dedication that these people have because they do it all the time. And I'm seeing like 80-year-olds and I'm like getting up and I'm like, my knees hurt. And I'm seeing like 80-year-olds in the church and I'm like, damn, you guys are dedicated. And you got my respect for how much you're dedicated to doing this because I don't, I
Yeah,
don't think I could do it.
I'd have to stretch before I'd go to one again. Be like, all right, stand, kneel, set, kneel, stand, kneel, set, kneel, stand. I'm doing. I didn't sign up for an aerobics class. Jeez, come on.
Yeah, next time I go, I'm gonna have to wear some knee pads.
Stand there in the aisleway, start doing some like stretches. What are you doing? Man, I was sore for a week after last mass.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yeah, this is why I don't get along with some of the religious people in my family. I'll make jokes about it, this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you can't make jokes about that."
So I've been getting a lot of comments lately on my TikTok that I look like Metal Jesus. Well, before I dyed my hair, my naturally with my hair tucked back behind my ears.
Yeah,
A lot of people have been saying Metal Jesus, and so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the Metal Jesus," and then I was like, "I don't want to offend Christians though."
yeah, because they're unforgiving. You piss
Oh
them
my
off,
god,
they
so
start up
bad.
like hate groups and everything else.
Oh my god, yeah, like whenever they were like instantly assuming like my grandma hates like she supports me 100% as a musician. My grandma, I love her. She's super Christian and she didn't know until the other day that people in metal bands can be Christian.
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to me. Like just the people think like oh, since you're affiliated with metal music, then you obviously worship the devil. Like that thought process is so 1970s.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure. I've heard Killswitch Engage's Christian band are very religious. I know POD is a
Yeah.
religious band, and they're one of my favorite bands. I just always like their style and stuff. I mean, it's you don't have to be a certain thing to be in this style of music
Oh yeah.
because in
For
this style
sure.
of music, no one really cares. It's like you're
Yeah, and
this,
it's like
cool, all right. I'm this, all right, cool. And there's
and like
no animosity or hatred or
yeah, like my girlfriend found this band and she absolutely loves them and their music is catchy. I can't remember what their name is. If I remember their name, I would play you one of their songs, but it's an all-female Muslim metal group. And their music is like they have hardcore breakdowns and like scream vocals and I'm like, "Holy crap." Like let me see if I can find one of their
I'm just saying. I'm
oh
gonna.
yeah, VOB, Voice of Bass Prot is the name of the band. And they're like actually an insane band.
I'm gonna go look them up later.
Yes. They did an Enter Sandman cover. One of their songs is God Allow Me Please to Play Music.
Yep, rock music's dead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy to me like or like even some dwarven metal my girlfriend listens to. I forget the name of the band, but they have this song that she loves.
I know
And
which one you're
she
talking about. I've seen them popping up on my news feed lately.
yeah, Diggy Diggy Hole is her favorite song by them, and she listens to them when she's working out at the gym. And it's funny because she'll be on the treadmill and she'll be like, Diggy Diggy Hole, digging a hole. It's like,
Like I'll listen to like uh Amon Amarth is one of them where they're a Viking
oh my
metal.
God, I love their. I learned how to play most of Deceiver of the Gods on guitar. Is one of my favorite songs by him.
There's a band that I happen to randomly stumble across. I think it's like Peg Leg Stomp, and it's a pirate metal band.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I mean, I'll find like I said, I've got a weird random selection of music where it's like I'll just throw random stuff on and listen to it while I'm working on things because I think I know when I was working on the photos earlier, I was listening to I think that playlist is like Bone Thugs and Harmony, Tupac, Biggie, uh, Busta, Tom McDonald. Yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of all over the place on
Oh, me
musical
too.
taste.
Me too, because I go from listening to Wu-Tang to listening to like Slipknot to listening to like System of a Down to switching up to Polyphia to even to I listen to like Japanese music because I watch a lot of anime, and so like the music gets stuck in my head, and
Oh,
so
and they
it's
got
like
some
I listen to a lot of
really
anime
catchy
songs.
stuff.
Oh my God.
Like Demon Slayer's got some stuff where I'm over there listening to it, and I'm just,
Oh my
what?
God,
You mean
yeah,
that's the
Demon Slayer tracks are amazing.
that's or like I haven't watched a whole lot of anime. My daughter watches it all the time. Like Juju Kaisen, Tokyo Ghoul was the last one I saw her watching. She's already watched season 3 of Demon Slayer. She was
Yeah, I'm
trying to
still
get me to,
getting caught up.
but like I've watched those with her. Like I've got fucking Demon Slayer figurines just because of stuff that I get to watch with.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I love a lot and I like figuring out some stuff like I know it's a lot Japanese style influence Ichika Nito is, but I really love his style of play on the guitar and like I just like sitting and listening to his music and figuring out how he plays it. It's just so his music is amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing too is like just they've got heavy hitting tracks just even in anime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like I've watched Fairy Tale with all 3 of my kids was one that we've gotten into because
Fairy Tale's a good one. Very
I
solid.
I've always liked it. It's very I just like how the main catalyst is so fucking brain dead. Where it's like, okay, this is the plan. You guys are gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And it's like, cool. I'm gonna go fuck these guys up later. It'll take off. And it's like,
It's funny. I love that.
but yeah, we got the video game where we played that, and I think my daughter ended up beating it, and they're like, "Why haven't you?" I'm like, "Cause you guys were playing on my PlayStation. Kind of hard for me to get on there and game. Plus, I was playing 12-hour days, so well, why don't you sit down and play now? Okay, cool. You didn't get through the loading screen. Exactly. Dancing 12-hour days in the summertime. But dude, what were you thinking was gonna happen? They're like, oh yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, I make it work. I do the best that I can. They know that I
Oh
try, so
yeah.
that's the important thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I'm
That
supposed to
is.
set up a game. My kid got me Grand Theft Auto 5, so he's like, all right, Dad, I need you on my crew because most of the people online are dumb.
I understand that completely. That's why I stopped playing GTA.
I was like, I'm not gonna disagree with you with people being online being stupid, but why do you want me to game with you? Because you can shoot stuff and you don't care. Yeah, because that means I'll come back. I know that it's not real. If I die, you'll just respawn me later. But yeah, this was definitely a fun interview.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully, one of these times I can get down and see a set of yours.
Yeah, that would be dope. I'd love to have you. I mean, I keep all of my shows posted on my website,
Yeah,
so
and
any of them that you see.
I usually try to hit it up and see what's going on. I know with the work schedule constantly changing and doing different things, and the kids they're almost out of the house. I got a few more years before it's like, okay, you graduated, you guys are on your own. I'm disappearing for the weekend. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a parent now. Just don't burn down the house.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I still got to be a
Yeah.
parent. My oldest one's 20, so I still got to go do stuff. I still do stuff with her, but it's like a different level of parenting where I don't have to be constantly there.
Oh yeah.
Like you got your
You
own
don't
lives.
have to.
You go do your thing. I'm gonna go do whatever I do, and if I'm in the air, I'll stop by and see you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely be looking for some shows. We'll keep in contact and see if we can get you up into Nebraska some.
All right, that sounds amazing. And I hope to get you catch you at one of my shows soon.
Oh, that'll
I'll
be.
see if I can't get another show up in Omaha maybe sometime soon.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll be.
I haven't made it to the Omaha one yet. I was supposed to a while back, and about halfway through the drive, I got to about Lincoln. Was like, oh, I'm done. I'm I'm going to the concert in Lincoln. I'm not going to make it to Omaha because it was still like another hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'd already pulled like a. I think that week was like 50 hours, and it was like one of those where it's like I'm tired. I'm done. I'm gonna watch this show because I don't think I can make it. Show will have already started and been about 30 minutes over by the time I got there. So,
Yeah.
and I still got all the videos and photos and interviews that I did at that show. So, that I
Oh
still got to
yeah.
work on. But it is what it is, and I just get out and do what I can to help bands and support the music scene and see what I can do. And it's fun because I get to meet a bunch of people and hang out with them and talk to them, and I enjoy it.
Hell yeah. And as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, until I get home and realize the workload that I just gave myself of photos and videos to go through. But the
Oh
shows are
yeah.
shows are fun. The
Oh
rest of
yeah.
the stuff is it's fun to do, but it's very time consuming.
Oh
And there's
yeah.
some days where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna work on this, and I'll sit down and fall asleep.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. I've been there way too many times. Working on, oh yeah, I'm gonna work on this drum track. Let me get this looped and
Yep. Or I'm gonna plan this. I'm gonna plan this, and then things go awry where I can't follow through with the plans. But such is life. I know there's other
oh
shows,
yeah.
other times that I'll be around to see bands.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this was definitely a fun interview, and looking to
I agree.
catch up with you. And not sure when it's gonna get posted. Hopefully, I made a post about having 5 days off, so hopefully I get to work on
Yeah, I
it.
get 5 days off this weekend too. I'm going to my girlfriend's today, in a little bit, and then we're gonna hang out until, well, she's got work off through Tuesday, so we're gonna be
Nice.
hanging out for quite a while.
Yeah, I got one of the kids here, and don't really have any plans other than I think playing some video games and working on some videos.
Oh yeah, I our plans for this weekend are go see everybody's baby because her sister just had her baby 3 days ago, and my sister had her baby 2.5 weeks ago. So we're gonna go and see everybody's baby. And
Just
my
show,
cousin actually had her baby about a month ago.
just be like,
So
okay, before we go in, no, 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 they're expensive.
yeah, that's actually she's not the one that's the problem with that. I don't have a problem with that with her. She told me flat out when we first started dating, I do not want kids, and I'm like, I respect it.
Kids are great, but there's times where it's like, why are you doing this? What did I do to? Oh yeah, that's a pain in the ass as a kid. Okay, now I understand why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you have a good weekend, and it was great talking to you, and
It
hopefully
was
we'll
great
see you
talking to you
soon.
too, man. Oh yeah, for sure, man. And I can't wait to hopefully catch you at one of my shows. I mean, I'll definitely try to get more in Nebraska area so that it'll be easier for you to come see. Uh, but yeah, I'll definitely get some shit worked out and hope to see you soon, man.
Sounds
It was
good.
great talking.
You too.